Welcome to episode 1, our pilot episode of Ready Real Estate and Divorce Plus You. I am really excited about our group. We are here as professionals. We have personal experience dealing with divorce, how it pretty much affects every aspect of life. And I think we're going to be able to take a really serious topic and lighten it up as much as we can and add some value along the way. So I'm just so excited about it. Thank you guys so much for partnering up with me on this.
Oh, I'm excited.
I'm excited too. Thank you for having us, Holly, and putting all the energy that you have into bringing this together today. It's been a long time coming.
It has.
And it's been a lot of effort.
It's been a journey. It really has. And I think our team came together in a really cool way, and I wanted to dive into that. If it's okay with you guys right now, real quickly. So as you guys all know, I got divorced. Gosh, it's been a decade, 10 years ago.
Already?
10 years.
I feel like
I had my
just
divorcery
blinked.
last month. Oh. Yeah, 10 years. I didn't get anything for it.
What did you do for it?
I went shopping. I went to White House Black Market, my favorite. And yeah, that was what I did for myself. I felt really good about it too. But you know, I was a stay-at-home mom because I left my teaching career, and for 10 years I was home with my kids. So trying to get back into the workforce was more than a challenge. And you know, that's kind of how I met Ken, because I was turned down for a loan. The first lender I talked to, they're like, we can't give you anything. And I had a great agent who was helping me. And Ken basically swooped in and saved the day. I think you might have even been wearing a cape. I don't know. Yeah. Maybe. You had a cape on when you did that. And that was how I was able to get my house. I mean, literally, you saved the day for me and my kids. And I'll never forget that. And since then, I've bought my second home, and you've refied for me twice. So we just become, you know, great friends. Mm-hmm. And then 7 years ago was when I got the courage to get into real estate. It took a minute because it was like a little bit stressful thinking of, commissions only, right? And I worked for another agent who was a top agent in his field. And he knew that I was having some issues legally with, post-divorce. And so he said, hey, I've got an amazing guy for you to meet. His name is Jeffery Abood. And he's the guy you want to talk to. And Jeff was amazing. He let me come in and sit down, and we talked. And he gave me some really important information that I needed. And I appreciated that so much, and gave me direction. So, you know, fast forward a little bit, about like a year and a half ago, I started making some posts. And
probably it was during, we were, there were a few months into COVID,
Yeah. And kind of putting this together a little bit, and you saw it. I kind of like pushed it over to you. And
I usually don't respond to stuff like that, but obviously you did something that caught my attention.
Yeah, and you responded, and I'm like, I got a message back. I was so excited. He's like, this is pretty cool. I'm going to check it out. So, you know, and then just being able to sit down and really add the value to what I was trying to do.
And what was that at the time? I think it was some sort of message or something highlighting your divorce specialty or
yes.
Classification or certification or whatever it is throughout real estate. Is that what it was?
It was. And you know, it's funny because a lot of people don't know that there is a certification real estate divorce specialist.
I'm a divorce lawyer, and I'd never heard of that at all.
I think this will get your attention. You're like, wait, what?
I'm like, what is that? Is this something made up or something bought online? I wasn't too sure.
Exactly. And then, Cece, about 5 years ago, we became fast friends when you joined Ken at the MAC team, because we are right on the same wavelength in so many ways. And you've done so many marketing things for us, both Ken and I, when we were trying to put together some videos and do some things. And we came and interviewed you. Which one of you is
better at selfies?
At selfies? I'm going to give Cece that.
Oh my gosh, I would think it would be you.
No, I don't think I'm as good at it.
You know your angles.
I do know angles.
You know your angles.
I know angles. I know lighting.
Who's better at filters?
Oh, I got to be better at filters, I think. It's important.
Cece does a good job, though.
She does.
She's really good.
Yeah. We're really blessed to have you. So then you agreed to allow us to, you and I had a little conversation on Facebook Live, and that's really what got it started, I think.
Oh, I remember. I felt like I was going to kill one of the two of you with some ring light that I had set up on some table at your old office where Old Woodward Title is located. I remember having that tripod or something on top of that table, and I'm like, please, while the two of you are recording, don't let this fall. And I was doing like a Hail Mary behind the scenes that I wasn't going to take one of you guys out.
Mm-hmm. And make sure we didn't walk out of the frame. And because we were standing, I know it's hard to do that, to stand and do that. So yeah, it was just, but it's been amazing.
And after that video did get a lot of traction on social media and online. A lot of people were reaching out, and that's when I think I told Holly, I go, you're actually pretty good at this, and people like, seemed like people liked the advice that we gave them and what we talked about that day.
They did. We got the stamp of approval, so I was like, let's do it.
Yeah, and speaking into the divorce process, into that, it's that's always something I've been very keen to notice, is that how much, especially going through your process of what you had to go through and understanding, you really just got to take so much like of a lawyer approach in people's situation, and sometimes a psychologist approach, into speaking into some calm through all the emotions. But I
mean, people are going through, presumably most of the time, the worst experience of their lives. Especially at that time, it feels like the worst thing of their life. And you are, all of us in our respective professions and what we do for them, all of us are serving kind of as a counselor, a therapist, or whatever term you want to put on it. But they're confiding in you, and they're telling you some very personal and private things that they usually wouldn't feel comfortable sharing with most people. But when you're in a position of trying to help them buy or sell the place that they're going to live and with their kids, and if you're helping them get approved for the loan for that property they're going to purchase, or you're helping them negotiate a settlement or resolution through their divorce case, whether it be in the property or the parenting time in custody, and all of that, some of their deepest, darkest secrets, feelings, emotions, even the people that seem to be emotionless, their emotions come out during those times. So it is absolutely important to feel for them to feel comfortable with you and feel like they can share those things. And I think it allows us to better be able to assist them when they're honest with us.
Absolutely. It's like we're the regulator. We're in charge of all these pieces. And I always tell people, when you're working with someone going through divorce, everything's going to take longer. They're going to need, when you say, how are you, to most people, they say, oh, I'm great, how are you, whatever. But when you ask someone going through divorce, how are you, they're going to tell you, and they need sometimes that sounding board. They need to be able to do that. And that's what we're here for.
And longer is not necessarily bad. Sometimes rushing it and rushing the process is when people wake up with more regrets and have buyer's remorse, whether it be literal on a house they purchased or it be regarding the settlement they just entered into the night before. I think that obviously, we're in Michigan, we're fortunate enough to have some strict guidelines and time limits to where a divorce case can't go on forever. There's a certain period when it needs to be done. But at the same time, it is good. And I tell people, don't try to rush anything. Take your time, think about it, make sure you're making the right decision. And it's okay if you close a transaction in one meeting, while sometimes that might be good, in a divorce situation, it's a lot better to have more than one meeting with the prospective client or the professional that you're dealing with in order to be able to understand the process better, because then you're not acting on, oftentimes when somebody's going through a breakup or a divorce, we're acting on emotion, and it's important to kind of break through that and see it from the outside, or at least really have solid sound advice. And that's what I think is so great about the team here and you, Holly, and I've seen you work with people and the way you talk to them, and it's not we're going to hurry up and close a sale and sell them whatever bullshit we can sell them to get them to accept this deal or to go ahead and buy this house or sell their house. But it's really understanding them and figuring out what they're going through at that time.
Yeah, and you have to manage expectations. It's pretty much our job to set that tone in each of our fields. I look at it that way. We're being paid to do something, but more than that, we realize we're exactly what you just said. We're dealing with people who are at their worst, usually, emotionally, just financially, every way you can imagine. You're basically ripping your life apart. And that's what it felt like, and that's what it is, especially if you have kids. So all those emotions, you're second-guessing everything. You really do need that trusted voice. And that's really what I saw when I was looking at this Ready group was people who are able to come alongside in every single area. What is this person, like a triage? You know, you triage what needs to be done first, what needs to be done second. How do we pull people back from the edge of where they're at and say, listen, there's light at the end of the tunnel. You're going to get through it. You're not the first or the last to go through this. And just being able to have that steadfastness and lead them through, they need to know that this person is going to take my hand and I can trust them. And if, you know, and we don't waver from that. And I just know each one of you, I know your hearts, and you all have a really great heart for people. You want to help people, and you're at the top of your field. So I'm just like really blessed and thankful.
Yeah, that's always been really important to speak into the emotions, like you're talking about, Jeff, is as doing the mortgages, it's, I always see it as it's, you know, starting out, the new beginning starts in a new house, whatever it might be. I can't tell you, you know, what you want to hear, but I can give you advice on how to get there if it's possible. But what's really important, I think, through it as we go through anything, is anytime any of us go through anything that makes us really nervous in life, it's hard to put yourself in your shoes where life is going to be like afterwards. But how many times that we've seen these experiences that people have and could speak into it, is important for people that are listening to surround yourself with professionals that kind of understand and have experience of speaking into navigating the waters. You know, we can't tell you exactly what to do, but we can share experiences. And I think that will help a lot to, you know, a new beginning and, you know, hopefully make the process as smooth as possible.
You're right. There's no book on this. And even though, Holly, I think you did write a book, but there's really no book on, even for us in our respective professions. I mean, you could read the book, but the book isn't going to give you the experience that we've gone through. And even though every situation is unique in its own way, there are some similarities. And listen, a lot of times we're going to figure it out together. So.
Absolutely. And that's how all the puzzle pieces just come together.
Yeah.
And it fits nicely. And, you know, I know we're going to be able to, again, it's a heavy topic, divorce, but I know we're a fun group and we're going to be able to bring a lot to the table to really go through some of these big topics, questions people have. You know, the biggest one is, am I going to be okay? Am I going to get to the other side? Does life move forward? And it totally does. But while you're going through it, there are some pitfalls and things that you have to avoid.
And if anybody doesn't tell you it gets worse before it gets better, they're probably lying to you.
Right, right.
They have a very unusual divorce experience themselves, and it's not the norm.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Yeah, it's not a fun process. And I think part of it for me, when I got that certification, it was like, I laughed at first. I'm like, there's a certification for this? They should just give it to me. I'm like the honorary member here. But I did learn a lot of other, you know, more professional information to help. And the book does cover a lot of things too, but you're absolutely right. Everyone's situation is different. And that's another thing you have to be able to do is you can't just, it's not like a Band-Aid, one size fits all. You know, you've got every type of, you know, client coming to you. Some of them are really thrilled about the fact that they get to get out of this situation. Some of them are completely devastated, you know, and there's like a whole gamut of that. Mm-hmm. And so it takes a lot to really do that and pull people through. And so, yeah, and give them something to look forward to, you know, resources and just different ways to say.
Or a new house.
Yes. Well, definitely need a new house because you have to start over. And
something to look forward to, which is something is the people that care. And you know, spoken to, and that's, I know that sometimes we are hard on our sleeves, and that's just because we care, but it's just having that feeling that you're surrounded by people is really important. So I feel that's what I feel really good about this team, and you, Holly, and Christina, and Jeff, that we all actually do have genuinely care. You know, this is what we're doing to make a living, but we look to aim to serve people the best way possible, to understanding that they're going through a very hard thing in life, and hopefully bring a little levity to the situation. We can't take away all the hurt and all the stuff, but we can kind of paint that picture, help you paint the picture of what life looks on the other side. So.
I actually have like a little case study I wanted to tell you. You already know about this person. I won't use names, but this is kind of just brings it all what we're talking about together. So I have a client who's become more of a friend than a client, and you know who they are. We won't use names, obviously, but came to me, needed to sell the marital home, going through a divorce. So it was a challenge for them. They were both great people, but, you know, it's hard going through a divorce. They were amazing, though. Got that house sold. I got him into his bachelor pad, right? He had his new house, and he wasn't really picky. He just basically was like, here's the area I want to be. This is where I want to go. Great. So, I don't know, a few months later, he meets the love of his life, right? And so they decide that they're going to then sell that house, get a house together. So they did that. And then, bought and sold this house twice, right? Now they're in this house. And then I just sold her home that she had. Mm-hmm. So it's not only is this great job security for me, quite honestly, when people get divorced, right? It's just, I was able to watch this process of this person. I saw him on day one and what he looks like now. And it's like, I was part of that. It just makes me feel good. And it's really cool to see that evolve. So.
And the chapters of their life starting over that anew, which is cool and vulnerable. Now, if I'm correct, that was 5 homes?
5.
Did I just count 5?
On the 5th one.
Yeah, close on the 5th home.
And I joked and I said, only 5 with me? You're only going to do 5?
But with that said, you just open and close each chapter to get to where he wants to be and where she wants to be. And that's a cool position to be in.
So are they married or divorced right now?
They're engaged. They're getting married in August.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and it's just a joy for me to be able to see that. It's really cool. Because we don't just sell houses, work as attorneys and sell mortgages. I mean, we actually work with people, and our goal is to help them to become their best they can be.
Yeah, and the celebration, I have to just keep that testimonial going. Like, even on social media, I saw a post of a photo of that client, and the smile on his face is epic. And everybody's commenting. Of course, I commented. And we're so happy to see where he's at. And you can tell with the grin and in the eyes tells everything. And to see that authentic happiness, I could only imagine what it was like to be at that closing, to see the last house sold and then their new house purchased. Their new beginning.
Yeah, pretty amazing. So
hopefully he'll still be smiling that big a few weeks after the honeymoon.
Yeah.
I have a feeling this is it.
If not,
we need a success story.
Customer job, right?
There are success stories, so they have to do it for us.
I like odd numbers. So house number 5, I think that's good for a while.
Well, he said, because I'm licensed down in Florida, he said, the next one's going to be down in Florida. And I said, let's do it. Let's go.
Perfect.
I'm ready.
Perfect.
We're licensed down there, haven't gone.
That's right.
Yeah.
We can go wherever you want to go.
Yeah.
I'm really good at hanging out.
Florida?
I'm really good at hanging out in Florida.
I was going to say, I don't think we'd have a problem with that.
Yeah.
My hair doesn't like August, so we got to avoid August because my hair would actually just revolt against
It's all right.
me.
August is great in Michigan. It's January through March that we need to be in Florida.
Yeah, for sure. That's what we need to do. So we'll take our podcast down there one day too.
We'll be recording from the beach in the wintertime.
Yes.
I think that's a good idea.
Don't mind the sand.
Umbrella drinks.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, we should have umbrella
Maybe we
drinks.
should raffle off
That'd be
a lucky viewer come and visit us down there and
absolutely
plan out their whole divorce.
Yeah. So I mean, I just really, from the bottom of my heart, just want to thank you guys again
thank you.
for joining me on this journey. It's our first podcast.
Well, why don't you wait a few months before you thank us? See how it goes.
No, you guys are amazing people. I'm really excited to be working with each one of you, and
I think it's really gonna, we got to spread the word. People are gonna feel it, just the compassion and empathy and the sincerity that, I think that we've developed in the chemistry that we've done over the last couple months trying to get this together. And I think I'm excited to see where it goes. And I'll always look for input on, topics that we can expound upon. So thanks again for
and listen,
all
we'll
the
be
efforts.
talking about all different types of things. We could be talking about the divorce process, the current real estate market, interest rates and loans, how to get approved while you're going through a divorce or after you're recently divorced. But also we'll be talking things such as a divorce diet and dating apps and other various issues that are, we might even, we'll have special guests from different areas. We might have somebody in here that's a hairstylist or a makeup artist and talking about different things that people could do to feel good about themselves while going through a divorce or after recently divorced as well.
Oh, that's huge. I remember my friend and I went and we met her future husband because he was in a clothing store, a really nice one, and his buddy was there. And I'm like, oh, look, they're shopping like us. But their whole point was he had just gotten divorced. And his friend was there. They were doing it right. They were like, all right, get back on the horse. We're getting you all new clothes. And it was like, and that's how we met them. So we had a fun night because they wanted our opinion. So we were like, oh, absolutely, we give you our opinion. And our friend just happened to work there, and she was on commission, and she kept smiling at us like, you really like it, right? You really like it. We're like, yes, we really like it. But yeah, I mean, it's part of the process. It's not just, the nuts and bolts. Those are important, but you're absolutely right, Jeff. It's all of that pulling yourself back together again and then deciding, okay, who do I want to be? Who am I? Because you don't lose yourself, but you're able to recreate and move forward.
You got to invest into yourself. And that's why, like you said, like bringing on the guests and personal trainers, hairstylists, or whatever we have, psychologists, for the kids but it's important to invest in yourself through the process. And, that may not make everything perfect, but it, every little ounce you pour into your spirit, it's, you slowly find your way there. So
absolutely.
And sometimes it's not always the professionals that are necessarily the ones that you want to talk to. I mean, obviously they're the ones that can guide you, but sometimes you want to talk to your close friends or family members that know your specific situation and what you're going through at that time. And there's situations where you don't want them to know what's going on, but depending on who it is and who you feel comfortable with, and it might be a professional therapist, it might be your attorney, it might be your hairstylist. It's whoever you feel comfortable in confiding in and listening to. But what's also important is everybody's divorce is different, and just by listening to, I can't tell you how many times we get calls like, oh, so-and-so said this is what happened in her divorce. Why is mine not happening like that? Or why aren't we doing this? Every single situation is different, but it's important to not keep it all bottled up, but choose who you feel comfortable talking to. And that's why I think one of our objectives through this show is going to be bringing in different types of professionals, bringing in different types of people. It might not be somebody that's a quote unquote professional. It might be Aunt Sally or somebody that's going to come and offer advice on maybe when she counseled her niece through a divorce.
Absolutely.
On a personal level.
Yeah. I think that's going to be a lot of fun. We'll have some really serious topics, and we'll have some more fun topics.
Can we please bring in a hairstylist? Oh my gosh, I can only imagine. I can only say so much. I share my same hairstylist with others, so she probably gets to hear like all different sides.
Oh, so, they get the goods.
They do. I think that would be.
I don't feel. I'm not sure, but I don't know if they have any sort of confidentiality privilege.
We're gonna have to sign something.
I tip enough for. I tip enough
NDA
for
mine.
Just don't sign in red, right? Don't sign that NDA in a red pen. Make it.
We like blue ink.
Okay. See, this is why we keep you around.
Yes.
Because you know stuff.
Once in a while.
Yeah. That's good. Well, again, thank you guys so much. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be a great journey, and I'm looking forward to it.
Oh. Same here. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it too. And again, I'm looking forward to hearing positive feedback that all the efforts, especially you started, that we made a difference in people's lives, and something that you can turn on and kind of relate to and through a hard time. So, looking forward to it.